We are hearing Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday we finished 8th chapter, so today chapter 9. Raja Guhya Yoga, or the principle that constitutes the supreme secret. Summary. The Lord proceeds to reveal to Arjuna the greatest secret constituting the supreme Lord, the climax of all religions, which gives the clue to the acquisition of true knowledge of the Self and of Godhead. Those who have no faith in Him, means Krishna, fail to acquire it, Shraddha, or faith, being the root of all transcendental knowledge. The Lord, as the efficient cause, manifests this universe through the agency of His Mayic potency, which is the material cause, and the Jiva world from His marginal Jiva potency. So all, both sentient and insentient, are in Him, but the Lord is entirely different from and independent of them. Wonderful is His sovereign yoga power. He is the supporter, indweller, and preserver of all beings in the world. He is the prime cause and stay of all that exist on earth, but He is detached from them all, just like the ether, which, though all-pervading, remains unattached to all atoms and molecules existing and moving in it. At the time of dissolution, all beings are dissolved into His Prakriti, and they are released once more when a new kalpa begins again. But all these acts do not touch the Lord, as He is beyond His Mayic Prakriti. The Supreme Lord retains His all-beautiful, eternal human form intact, despite His descent on the mundane plane. The foolish, deluded by Maya, disregard His eternal, beautiful, adolescent human form, not knowing that He is the Supreme Lord of the whole universe and that He is the Lord of all lords. But His true devotees, knowing Him as such, worship Him with pure intelligence and single-minded devotion. They incessantly sing His name, form, attributes, glorious deeds in the association of the sadhus, and attain His eternal loving service in the blissful realm. The worshippers of impersonal Brahman may attain liberation or eternal life if they cast aside their wrong conception of oneness with God or Brahman and betake themselves to devotion to Him as the Supreme Lord. The Pratika worshippers may attain to His eternal beautiful form if they forsake their henotheistic or polytheistic ideas, which do not recognize the superiority of the super excellent form, qualities, and entourage of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna over all the minor gods. Pratika worshipper means demigod worshippers. The knowers of the three Vedas and the drinkers of Somarasa, worshipping the Lord by sacrificial rites, enjoy celestial pleasure, on the expiry of which they are bound to come down again into the mortal world. But the Lord, out of deep attachment for and causeless mercy upon His devotees, supplies their daily necessities of life and takes all possible care for their upkeep, because they seek nothing but His devotional service, to the exclusion of all other lordly boons though voluntarily offered by him, Krishna. Those who worship the deities with faith must, of course, worship him, means Krishna, but contrary to the divine law, because such worship, instead of leading them to the attainment of the eternal bliss, entangles them in mundane attachments. Whatever is offered by him, whatever is offered to him, means to Krishna, by a devotee who is self-controlled, be it a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, if offered with a loving heart, is acceptable to the Lord with great pleasures as a gift of love. But he refuses to accept heaps of articles, however precious they may be, if offered by the worshippers of their gods, simply out of pomp and show. The worshippers of the deities, means demigods, attain to them, but the worshippers of the Lord attain to him. All oblations, all that is to be eaten and given, and all austerities to be practiced, should be dedicated to him, leaving their fruits to him. When done in this way, all actions cease to serve as bondage. Then one becomes a real sannyasin and attains his lotus feet. The Lord knows no favoritism or communalism, since he is the same to all beings, from the highest to the lowest. But he who loves him ardently and wholeheartedly is loved by him. He who worships him with unflinching faith, single-minded devotion and love, is a sadhu, even if he be addicted to evil habits. In the opinion of the Lord, he who does not carp or scoff at an ananya bhakta, means single-minded devotion, who is not only a sadhu by nature, but a dharmatma, God-loving soul, as well, is to be reckoned as a sadhu, because his attempts are well resolved and righteous. One second, I have to see this word. Carp and scoff. It is not. Carp means some fish. Maybe scarp. Scarp. Carp. Scoff. Scoff. Speak to someone or about something in a scornfully derisive or mocking way. Mock, deride, ridicule. Yes. Carp or scoff. So means if someone disregards Ananya Bhakta, then one who does not deride Ananya Bhakta, he will soon become a Dharmatma. This will come later, it will be more clear. By such conduct, he will soon become a Dharmatma and attain eternal bliss. Even those born of sinful wombs, women, Vaishyas and Shudras may attain the ultimate goal if they worship the Supreme Lord with unsullied devotion. Unsullied, not spoiled or made impure. spotless, untarnished, unblemished means pure devotion. If they worship with unsullied devotion, means pure devotion. Unsullied. Yes. Then the Lord exhorts Arjuna to fix his mind on him alone, to be always devoted to him, perform all duties as a kshatriya, consecrating them to him, bow down to him as his eternal servant, and be absorbed in his meditation. When he is thus unswervingly attached to him, he shall attain him and enter into his blissful realm as a devout servitor. Here, spiritual knowledge and divine love as panacea for all world evils. See, it's like a medicine, something. A solution, yes, or a remedy for all difficulties or diseases. Our Gurudev used this word, panacea, for the Sharanagati is the panacea of all afflictions. Remedy. So now the 9th chapter begins. Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Idam tu te guhya tamam pravakshyamyanu suyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yadgyatva mokshase shubhat. The Supreme Lord said, O Arjuna, as you are free from carping, again this word means like not deriding or something, carping, I will try again, carping, yes, this is found. Continually complaining or finding fault about trivial matters or difficult to please. Yes, continual complaining. So, Arjuna, as you are free from carping, I will now tell you the most secret truth regarding my transcendental knowledge and divine love, knowing which you will attain freedom from all evils. Explanation. The philosophy of soul described in chapters 2 and 3 may be said to be a secret truth. The transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Lord based on the cult of Bhakti described in chapters 7 and 8 is a greater secret. But the greatest secret I am now going to reveal to you is the unadulterated devotion which, if strictly followed, will enable you to transcend the three qualities of Maya and realize the self in its true perspective. Knowledge of soul is secret, of devotion is greater, but this pure devotion is greatest secret, means most deep. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. This is known as Raja Vidya, supreme lore, supreme knowledge, or Raja Guhya, supreme secret, and is eternally pure and excellent. It gives the true knowledge of the self. It is the climax of all religions. It is easily accessible to all, in brackets, being free from the troubles of karma, jnana and other mundane principles. It is unchangeable and eternal as it transcends the three qualities of Maya. I will read this translation by Srila Sai Maharaj because our Gurudev liked it so much and he many times mentioned it in his Harikatha. So I want to read his translation also. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Our Gurudev memorized this translation and he was very fond to repeat this translation and also that one. When one is enlightened by the knowledge by which ignorance is destroyed, then his knowledge will reveal everything as sun lights up everything during daytime. These two translations Gurudev remembered and was speaking. Ashradadhanah purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu sangsara vartmani. O Parantapa, those who have no faith in me fail to acquire this knowledge of pure devotional love for me and are therefore hurled into the vortex of endless sufferings and miseries in the world. Explanation. Faith is at the root of this transcendental knowledge, because pure devotional love, which is the climax of this knowledge, sprouts at first in the form of faith in the heart of a novice in the spiritual practice. This is Shraddha. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is defined Shraddha Shabda Bishwas Kohe Sudrida Nishchoy Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krito Hoy. This word Shraddha or faith means to have firm belief, firm faith that by and without any doubt that by serving Krishna you serve all, or all your duties, everything is done. Nothing is, means you know by serving Krishna is like giving water to the root of a tree or giving food to the stomach. Only one who has such faith awakened in his heart by accumulation of enough sukriti, he is entitled to get bhakti sadhana. First he will get sadhu sangha, then guru, then when taking shelter of guru, and guru will give initiation only to a person who has such faith, otherwise not. This is condition. Brahmanda brahmite kono bhagyavan jiv guru Krishna prasade pai bhakti lata bich. When one is wondering, Brahmanda brahmite kono bhagyavan jiv. Bhagyavan means fortunate, means those who have already gathered enough sukriti. They, by the grace of Krishna and Guru, they will get the seed of devotion planted in their heart. Otherwise they will not give. Gurudev told many times, means every initiation, this is the condition. Another is that you are ready to follow all the rules and regulations, and Ekadashi fasting and all these things which is in scripture. But to give Harinam initiation to someone who does not have such faith, that will be Nama Aparat, offense on the part of Guru. First he must see whether that faith is awakened and whether he is ready to follow. If he gives initiation to someone who has no faith, he has to rectify his mistake. Otherwise, he will also go down. Because it means he is doing for some other purpose. That faith, and Gurudev said that this faith means cultivated land. If you sow the seed in some stone or somewhere, then it will not sprout. It must be fertile, cultivated land. Cultivated land means this, that faith must be there, transcendental, this faith. So this is the root of this transcendental knowledge. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina matstani sarva bhutani na chaham teshu avastitaha. This whole universe is pervaded by my unmanifest eternal principle, Paramatman. All beings, sentient and insentient, exist in me, as I am the prime cause of all causes. But I do not exist in them, as I am entirely different from and independent of them. Explanation. I am the all-pervading transcendental personality. All beings, sentient and insentient, exist in me, and I, as the all-knowing Paramatman, always exist in them, like the earth in earthen pot or gold in gold ornaments. That this world is a transformation of myself is entirely groundless and hence untrue. This is Mayavadis, they say like that, Brahma Parinamvat. They want to say that this world is transformation of Brahman, but it is not. In Vedanta Sutra, Shakti Parinamvat is described. Supreme Lord does not undergo any transformation, but his potency is transformed into this world and into jivas. But because they are not different from him, they are also him. But both are there. Inconceivable simultaneous distinction and non-distinction. But never Supreme Lord undergoes change, and Mahaprabhu gave that example of a philosopher's stone. He will transform iron into gold, but he himself will be untransformed. Like that, Supreme Lord is untransformed, but his Shakti is transformed. And Mayavadis, they say, so that this world is a transformation of myself, is entirely groundless and hence untrue. I am the absolute self-effulgent entity. This world has come into existence from my eternal Mayic potency, and the Jiva world from my marginal Jiva potency. So all beings have their origin in me, but not so rooted in them am I, inasmuch as I am entirely different from and independent of them. He is the source of energy, their energy. So they're different, but because they're dependent on him, they're also non-different from him, but at the same time different, both Achintya Bheda Abhed. Now Krishna is explaining in these few verses this Achintya Bheda Abhed. We can only hear But we cannot imagine this, how this is in reality. This only you can know, you can understand through revelation, not by logic, intelligence, or imagination, not possible. But we have to hear the description that will purify us. And when we will come to that platform, then we can realize what is actually meant, how this is so. Nacha matstani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaram bhuta brinna cha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Beings do not exist in my real self. Behold my sovereign yoga power. My immanent self, means Paramatman, is the supporter and preserver of all beings in the world, but I, Bhagavan, do not exist in them. That is to say, I am independent of all worldly concerns. Explanation: that all beings exist in me does not mean that they exist in my real self, but exist in my external mic or cosmic potency, a fact not at all comprehensible to human reasoning. Behold then and know it to be my sovereign yoga power. I work through the agency of my mic potency. Hence, know me as the supporter, indweller, and preserver of all beings in the world. Although I am the prime cause and stay of all that exist on earth, I am really disassociated from all mundane things. My body and self being one and the same, I am independent of all worldly concerns. So this is Achintya Bheda Abheda description. One time when Parangurudev got land in Vrindavan, then he ordered Gurudev to do collection for the construction of the temple. So there was another brahmachari whose nature was such, when if he would come to some place, then first he will check everything. And within 2 days he will know everything, what is there. That was his nature. So Gurudev asked him, is there any rich person here, generous like this? Then that person will say, yes, there is one lady there. Then Gurudev went to that lady and said, we are from Chaitanya Gauriya Math. We are engaged in the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you please contribute something. And Gurudev was explaining what is the teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Gurudev said that she was listening attentively, but sometimes in between she would smile, or like this. Then when Gurudev finished, then she said, yes, this is like for process, it is also good for process, but ultimately there is no bhed, no difference. All is one, no difference. That she was Mayavadi, pure Mayavadi, and she taught this devotion, this Vaishnava, okay, for the time, for low class, those who are ineligible, they can get concentration through devotion. So she said, this bed is not. Then Gurudev again tried to explain that Achintya Bheda Abhed, both is there. Difference and non-difference. And she said, no, Brahman Satya Jagat Mithya. Only Brahman is truth, one. This is all false. Then Gurudev again said, how you can say it is false? You are seeing all jivas in this world you are seeing. How you can say it is all false? The truth is, jivas, when they forget Supreme Lord, Then they come to this world and they are in illusion and all this. It is temporary, it is true, but it is not altogether false in the sense that it does not exist. Trying to explain to her, but she was not, no, it is all false. And there is no bad. Ultimately, there is no bad, no difference. Then again she said, Brahman Satya, Jagat Mithya. Only Brahman is truth, this all world is false. Then Gurudev saw that she is not able to understand. Then he said, so if this world is false, and you are in this world, so you are also false. And all your statements are also false. So why I should listen to your false statements? And he was ready to go. Then that brahmachari said, no, don't speak like that with her, then you will not get any money. Then Guru said, I didn't come for money. I don't want money. The Gurudev went for the service of Mahaprabhu. So when he saw that she was not able to, because lack of Sukriti and everything, then Gurudev just made her understand. Then in future, one day she will be understand that this is irrational, what she was telling, when the time will come. So Gurudev said, if everything is, this world is false, then you are also false, and your statements, so I will not listen. And he went out. He did not compromise for the sake of getting money or something. No, Krishna is giving money through some instrument, but our target is the service of Krishna. So those who will accept the service of Krishna and will contribute, that can be accepted. Otherwise, no need. That does not mean that we will be deprived, because Krishna is unlimited. Everything is possible for him. He is maintainer, he is protector. Our duty is only to serve him. Then he will provide everything through this instrument or that instrument or somehow. But we should not compromise our service for the sake of some mundane acquisitions. Then we will be loser. We may get that thing, but that is temporary, and also we will lose devotion to Krishna. We will actually lose everything. We will give up devotion to Krishna. Gurudev also told in Bhagavad Gita Mat time during Prabhupada, one rich person, he was contributing to the mat. Then one day he was there in the temple, and he praised devotees there that you are great tyagis, great renouncers. You gave up eating meat and drinking alcohol and all this, even onion, you are praising, you are great renouncers. Then one brahmachari said, no, you are greater renouncer than us. Then that person said, no, you don't know me. I am very bad character. I eat fish, I drink alcohol. No, don't speak like that. No, you are great renouncers. You gave up. Then again that brahmachari said, no, you are far greater renouncer than us. We just gave up some small things like onion, garlic, and cigarettes, and these things we gave up. So some small things. But you gave up, you renounced Bhagavan, service of Bhagavan, you renounced. Bhagavan is everything, biggest. So you renounced him. So who is great renouncer. We only gave up small things. You gave up complete thing. Then that person understood. So here, if for the sake of some mundane benefits, we try to renounce the service of God, we will be loser. As we heard yesterday, no, day before yesterday, Sridhar Pandit was very poor. But Mahaprabhu showed he is actually rich. He has everything because he had the service of Supreme Lord. So he had that transcendental bliss. And also one who is getting the transcendental bliss, he's always happy in whatever circumstance. And Krishna is always automatically, in this chapter it will come, he's always providing for his pure devotees what they need. Anyhow, pure devotees, they have minimum bodily requirements and the minimum. So that is provided by Bhagavan automatically. So they never pray for this. They only pray for the service of Krishna and they are really happy. So even when Mahaprabhu offered him any kind of boon, Sridhar did not request for anything and losing the service of Bhagavan. No, I only want your service. They are very intelligent. Some other thing, you should ask something from Bhagavan, then you will be benefited. Why you are not asking? You are foolish. But Guru said, no, devotees are very intelligent, but others cannot understand their intelligence. They want him, his complete reality. They have everything. If you become a son of a king, then everything is yours by that relation. Or Prabhupada said, if one poor girl marries some rich man, then automatically everything is hers. So when we are related to Bhagavan, everything is automatic. But devotees never want to enjoy anything. They only want to serve Krishna and automatically everything is provided. The Gurudev also told in Kolkata, he said, I'm never asking Supreme Lord for money, but he's sending automatically. And immediately when I engage for the service of Vaishnavas. I don't have any bank account or nothing. Only immediately I give for the service of Vaishnavas. And I never ask for money, but automatically everything coming. So, but this has to be from the heart. One has to have such a realization. Then here it will be said. Krishna himself said, I am providing everything for my devotees personally. There was one person who was doubting this, one Brahmin, but Krishna showed him, no, really personally I am providing. To those who took shelter of me. Gurudev said also one example he gave. If in this world you go to some bad person, you go to his house and you take shelter of him and you serve him without demanding for anything, requesting anything. You just take shelter and you serve him. Even a bad person, he cannot remain silent after a few days. He will start to think about that person. He requires some cloth and he will give some food like this. Bad person in this world conditioned soul cannot remain silent. How Supreme Lord will remain silent? He is giving everything and he has affection of millions of mothers, fathers and everything. But we have to really take absolute shelter to him and serve him. And Guru said, if he will not give and we will die, then let us die. Gurudev many times, then let us die. Why we should give up his service? Let us die. But why we should demand something from him or from others in the name of service of Krishna? No. If we have to die, then better to die. So we need association of such realized souls who are really devoted to Krishna, serving him, And they are really happy and peaceful under all circumstances, and everything is there, provided. And they have no suffering. Gurudev said, they are playing the pastime of sickness. Not that they are feeling any pain, trouble when they are sick. No, because their mind is always on transcendental platform, always remembering Krishna. They are never feeling any pain due to this. That is only their pastime, lila, to give opportunity to others to serve them, or for some other purpose, to release them from traveling or for engage them in some service like this. So I also did not understand this point, so Krishna had to make me understand. When Gurudev's god brother Srila Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj, he was in charge in Vrindavan, I knew him from before. I spoke everything, but then he suddenly got some nervous, some disease, and he was on wheelchair and could not move properly and like this. So I complained to Krishna. Why he has to suffer like this? He's your devotee. Why he has to suffer like this? I complained. Then in Batinda, 2004. Then after Arati, when we gave Dandavat to all Vaishnavas, so he was in his room. I also went to Puri Maharaj and I give full Dandavat Pranam to him. And suddenly I felt I lost all my physical problems and also mental problems, even those which I was not even aware of. But when they were gone, when they were removed, then I understood that they were there. Before I was not feeling, subconscious like this. But that time, all removed and I was happy from within, from Atma. Blissful, no any mental or physical problems, all removed. Then Krishna made me understand. Now you think. You are just bowing down to Puri Maharaj and you are losing all possible suffering, even that which you are not aware that you are undergoing. Then how you can think he is suffering something? Then I understood, by the grace of Krishna in Batinda. So we are only outwardly observing, but we don't know what they are actually feeling inside. Gurudev said they are not feeling any pangs of diseases. That is lila only. Pure devotees. So even if we see outwardly some devotee is very poor, or he's sick, or he's ugly, or anything, then we think, oh, why? Mahaprabhu also told, you are worshipping Narayan, why you are so poor? Then Sridhar revealed himself. And when they are asked for boons, they reveal. So they are actually not suffering. We are seeing like that, but they are not suffering, and they don't want anything. They only want service of Krishna. So those who want only the service of Krishna, they are actually intelligent. Any other desire or demand other than the service of Krishna is actually foolishness. It is not beneficial for us, but we are unable to understand because of foolishness, ignorance. So by the grace of pure devotees, we can gradually understand what is our requirement, what is in our real self-interest, benefit on this. Yathakasha stito nityam vayu sarvatra gomaham tata sarvani bhutani matstaniti upadharaya. Just as air is all-pervading, expansive, and ever-existing in ether, but the ether is separate from it, so all beings exist in me, but I do not exist in them. Know this as true. So it sounds contradictory, but it is true. But how it is, we can only realize, cannot imagine. Explanation: just as a jiva, by supporting and maintaining his body, exists in the body without any attachment, so also, though all-pervading, upholding and maintaining all beings and elements, I do not dwell in them, because I am the Absolute and am independent of all. Such sort of analogy does not always hold good. Any analogy of this world is not fully encompassing all the points. Bhaktivinoda Thakur showed this in Jeva Dharma. When we try to explain some points by some material example, that will be helpful, but you should be very careful for which point, because not all point will be inside. So someone will argue something else. And even that, if you try to imagine, you cannot actually understand. You have to realize. These examples and these explanations are helping us so that we will take up proper practice, that we have some idea which will inspire us to devote ourselves to Krishna. Then by doing that devotion, we can actually realize what is meant. The principle that though all-pervading, I do not dwell in beings and elements is a paradox beyond human conception. Still, a more comprehensive illustration approaching the truth may be given here. The ether is all-pervading, in which air and other minutest particles of atoms and molecules exist and are in motion, yet it, being the container, is detached from them. So, my Maic potency being the cause and effect of all mundane phenomena, I am always independent of them, like the ether. Though all things cannot exist without me, I can exist without them, as I am absolutely independent. Like when Mother Jashoda heard that Krishna is eating earth, then she did not believe. Then she said, if Balaram will confirm, then I will think. Then Balaram said, yes, Krishna really, he was eating earth. Then Jashoda became angry on Krishna. You have no any knowledge. You don't know that by eating earth you will become sick. You don't have any knowledge. Gurudev said, if we go to Jashoda and say, Yashoda, you don't know anything. He's a God. How you can say like this? And you are thinking of his future and all this. If we go to Jashoda like this, with this attitude, then we will be deprived of Braja Prem. We cannot get it. That is superior type of devotion, when they don't think Krishna is God. They have intimate, sweet, delightful relation. By the grace of Jashoda, we can get that. That is far above knowledge of Godhood. So when Jashoda then said to Krishna, you open your mouth. Then Krishna opened mouth and Jashoda could see whole universe, material universe inside Krishna. And that it was true one, it was shown because she also saw herself there in that universe. How she is looking in the mouth of Krishna. And if Yashoda here out, she moved hand, then that Jashoda inside also moved. So how this is possible? externally it was, and inside Krishna, because that is Achintya Shakti of Supreme Lord. Omnipotent, he can do whatever he likes. So here everything is in ether, but ether is not in them. Like that, everything is in Krishna, but Krishna is also not there. Both is there. Simultaneous difference and non-difference and all this. So this only by realization. Then Krishna, then Jashoda was thinking, oh, something, what is this? Maybe some ghost entered into Krishna's body or something. She started to think like that. What could be the cause of this? Then but never his God. Then when Krishna saw she's thinking, then he saw that if I will show more of this opulence, then her prema will be shrunken, will not be, will be limited by that some opulence like this. So he intentionally then stopped showing that, to keep that prema. So we cannot actually imagine or understand these descriptions actually how it is unless we get realization. We have to hear with firm faith that will purify our mind and give us proper conception what we have to do, how we have to practice, we have to do devotion, service, then through that it will be revealed. Tomorrow we'll hear further.